sus, right? You've seen this before. A sus, D sus, E sus, F sus. What's going on here? How come they won't tell us their full names, right? Major, minor, diminished, augmented, sus? Seems pretty mysterious to me. Seems pretty sus. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. Today you will learn about suspended chords. Yeah, that's what they're called. They're not sustained chords. They're not suspicious. They're called suspended. And it turns out that name is directly related to how they sound, which is so cool. So I'm going to show you how to build them. We're going to put them directly on the fretboard, and then I'm going to show you how to use them. Before we get started, if you're enjoying the channel, you like the style with which I teach, you like the content that I produce, head on over to my Patreon page. Right now there's a 7-day free trial on the studio tier there, which gets you access to my teaching platform called The Studio, in which I interact with guitar players all the time. I'm teaching live courses. I'm doing live Q&A sessions. If you're curious about getting a little bit deeper with me, that's the best way to go. And right now it's free for 7 days. You got nothing to lose. If you do like what you see and you decide to support the channel, I thank you in advance. Okay, we're going to zoom in. I'm going to dispel the mystery about the sus chords. I'm going to teach you how to build them, put them directly on the fretboard, and then I'm going to show you how to use them while we're writing or playing music. Okay, let's go get suspended chords. We're going to find out how to build these things, what they sound like, and then how to use them. We're going to use this A chord here. This is our A major bar chord, root on the 5th fret. You may already know it, you may not know it. Even though this chord has 6 strings ringing out, there are only 3 notes in it. And those notes come from this scale. That's the A major scale, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. This chord is root 5, root 3, 5, root in relation to that scale. We're going to get rid of all the doubles here and just go down, sort of tear it down to the bare bones here. Root 3, 5. This is our A major triad. Suspended chords, this word suspended, actually relates to how the chord sounds. And the mechanism for generating a suspended chord is basically replacing this note right here with the note that's either above or below the 3rd in the scale. So here's our scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's our 3rd. The 2 notes that are right next to it are either the 4th, which is up a half step, or the 2, which is down a whole step. These 2 notes stay the same, the root and the 5th, and this 3rd either moves up a half step to the 4 or down a whole step to the 2. And you can hear it right away. When we replace that 3rd, the chord sounds lifted, it sounds unresolved, it sounds suspended. Sounds great when we go back down to that major chord. When we take that 4th back down to the 3rd, right? Now listen to when we go down to the 2nd. Sounds unresolved, right? That's where the chord gets its name. That's where this function gets its name. We're replacing the 3rd with the 4 or the 2, and we're generating this idea that the chord feels suspended. Right? And what happens is when you use this sort of cadence, when you generate a suspended chord, we all want to hear that major chord afterwards. So it's really a function. It's like a function of generating tension, so you can then resolve it back to the major chord. Now this has been used in all kinds of music all over the place. Let me show you a few more voicings to use. We just found it in the middle of this bar chord. But let's say we know this A down here. That note, that 3rd note, happens to be on the B string now. So we just do the same thing, up a half step to the 4, That's our sus4 chord. We're down a whole step to that open string. So major, sus4, sus2, major. In fact, that voicing was used in the key of F by Mike Campbell in Tom Petty's Free Fallin'. Major, sus4, sus4, major, sus2. Led Zeppelin used it in the key of D. Jimmy Page, this is right before the guitar solo in Stairway to Heaven. So this is our regular D chord. That third is now on the top. So this is sus2, major, sus4. Sounds so good when we dump back down to that major chord, right? These suspended chords generate tension, and they best resolve back to the major chord. So we did it for this triad right here. We did it for this A chord right here. There's one more A triad that's right here. The third is on the bottom here. sus4, right? We're replacing that third with the 4 or the 2 and back to the root. These suspended chords are designed to generate a little bit of soft tension before you dump back down to that major chord. That's what they do. That's their best purpose. Now that you know how to build them, you can use them to serve that very same purpose for the music you generate. Okay, suspended chords. Turns out all they really do is generate some tension before dumping back into a major chord. That's their function. That's what they're for. Tabs for this lesson, like all the lessons on this channel, are available on Patreon. Like I mentioned, right now there's a 7-day free trial on the studio tier there. You got nothing to lose. If you're interested, head on over there. I hope you found this lesson interesting. I hope you found it helpful. Stay curious, and I'll see you next time.